Okay, the next tool I want to talk to you about is the equation tool. You will see that I have switched applications. So now I'm in Google Docs. So when we see this little blue piece of paper with the white lines, that means that we are in Google Docs. You'll also see that the share button is also blue. So you can make equations fairly easy in Google Docs and in Google Slides. It's easier in Google Docs than it is in Slides. I'm going to show you how to do both. So the first thing you'll want to do is you go up to Insert. And when you click on Insert, you'll scroll down and you'll see Equation. And when you click on Equation, then you're given this box here with a cursor in it. That's where you will type your equation. Now up here on your toolbar, this has been added. So I'll show you how to use this button after we've typed this first one. So then you have your Greek letters that you can put in there. This is your symbols. So it's miscellaneous operations. So a lot of times this division sign is hard to find, and same with the multiplication sign when we just use a dot. These are your other symbols like greater than, less than, and equal to. This one is congruency. So you have some different ones in there. This one is the one I use probably a lot. This is how we make a fraction, a square root, then maybe a cube root. This would be in some other formats. This is a subscript, and this would be making a square or a superscript number. And then here we have some arrows that we can also use. So let's say I want to write an equation, a linear equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click down here and I'm going to type in, so I'm going to use slope-intercept form. So I'll say y equals, and then I want a slope of 3/4. So then I'm going to come up here to my math operations. I'm going to click on the one that looks like a fraction. I'm going to type 3, and then I'm going to hit return or enter, and then 4, and that gives me my 3/4. I'm going to hit enter again, and then I'll say x plus 7. Okay, so now I have my equation. I'm going to hit return, and I'm ready to type whatever is next. Is an equation for a line. So that's what I would type in there. The next thing, so then once I'm done with that, then maybe I need to put in another equation. So I'm just going to enter down. And then I'm going to come up here, rather than going up to insert, I've already started this, so I can just insert a new equation. And maybe I want to put some possible answers. So, or I want to use a square root. So here I would put, if I'm going to use a square root, I'm going to use this symbol here, and I would put in my number 25 and hit enter, and I'm done. If I want to put in a square of a number, I'm going to go to new equation, and then I'm going to use this one. It says x to the b power, so maybe I want that to be g, and then I'm going to hit enter, and that makes it superscript to the 7th power. Hit enter again, and I'm ready to continue typing x y. And that's that equation. Now, depending on what your font size is, my font size is 11 right now. These are pretty small. So when I type equations, I usually make my font size bigger. So that's how you do it in Google Docs. Now we can go over here to Google Slides. Not quite as easy. You're going to have to put in a text box. We'll just leave it. I might center it just so I feel a little bit better about where it's sitting. So say I want to put in the same tool. Again, we don't have all of those. We don't have the fraction tool. We would just write that as 3/4 if we wanted 3/4. So that's a little bit different. But I can put in a square root, and to do that, I would go to Insert, and I'm going to go down to Special Characters, and I'm going to get this box, and you see I have all sorts of stuff. So here you have a search box. So I'm going to type in square. If if I hit square root, or even see I've started, I don't even have all of square, and I'm going to hit this, there's the square root symbol. I'm going to click on that, and it doesn't look like anything has happened, but I'm going to close this window, and there it is. Now the kind of the nice thing, so you don't have to keep going back and forth to that. So let's say that's 25. But then I want to type another one. I can go through and I can highlight that one. I can copy, and then I can paste and put in another one. So that's how you use, put in those symbols. There's other symbols in there to use. They're not quite as easily accessible. Like I said, a lot of times what I will do is I will go and just take a screenshot of one that I have made in Google Docs, and I will copy and paste that into a Google slide.